into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello. Welcome to the SVU after show. You might be confused because this is not the SVU theme song. This is the original Law & Order theme song. Similar, but very different. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me, of course, Roya Taheri.
Yeah.
We're jumping straight into season 16. Turn this crap off. We're jumping into season 16, episode 5, Pornstar Requiem.
What?
Requiem.
Requiem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Requiem for a dream?
I know. It's like the way you say Requiem.
Okay. Exactly, Roya. I know that at first you were not a fan of this episode.
I was bored. Because I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Nope. They're going to go to the court. There was something exciting in the courthouse.
Really?
There was like 2 lines. I was like, OMG, that's awesome. But the fact that I had to say OMG means that I was bored.
Oh, interesting.
If I had to go into teen girl OMG mode, I mean, something was wrong.
I disagree.
Compared with the last few episodes where you're like on the edge of your seat, and you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna shoot him? Are they gonna live? Are they not? Like, that was my
I see what you're saying.
Slow.
I like that this episode I felt went back to SVU roots. We talked about a real, legit rape victim. We saw the court case of how are they going to, prove what happened. And it was I really enjoyed this episode. Also, I love the soapbox, like that they called out the fact that people were on soapboxes. Mm-hmm. People were like, let me give you my message of what I'm trying to say to you. And it was just, I like that they called it out. They were like, hey, get off your soapbox.
There were some good lines in it, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Great good lines.
Yeah.
That was English.
It's okay.
A lot of good one-liners, you're right. Okay, let's talk about the episode.
Well, before we jump into the episode.
Oh, yes, of course.
Our disclaimer.
Thank you. Disclaimer, guys. This episode is about rape. So it's a really serious topic. It's a really heavy conversation.
Rape, not grape.
Yes, not fruit.
Yes.
And so, therefore, we will make terrible jokes.
Just like that.
Just like rape and grape. So please, fair warning that we know that this is a serious topic. We know that this episode is a serious episode. It's based on a true story-ish. And we want to warn you and let you know that this is going to happen. And that if anything did happen to you, and that if you have, if you are a victim of assault, there are things you can do, including calling this hotline.
Which is 1-800-656-HOPE. That's HOPE. And again, that's 1-800-656-HOPE.
Awesome. Now let's jump into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we meet Evie Barnes, who is 18 with a bang.
Oh, man.
Are we going to talk about what a stupid concept for a porn show that is?
Well, how about the whole interview process, too?
Yeah.
It was an interview, and then it turned into a straight pornography. She thought she was there for modeling.
Right. So I also was like, did she know before she sat on the couch? They were like, okay, so it turns out this isn't modeling. Here's what's going to happen. And then she was like, oh, I guess I'll do that. And then they turned on the camera and were like, tell us about yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Because she just straight up took her clothes off. And I was like, there's no way that this is the first time she's hearing that they're going to have sex.
Exactly. This was no hesitation. She's like, I like my body. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it off. It was just like, And the guy was so creepy, too.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to be all cool about it. Like,
well, I mean, if you've watched porn, that's how they talk.
I don't usually listen to porn if I'm watching porn. Sounds very TMI, but it's true because, you don't want other people to hear you watching porn.
Sure.
Yes.
So we meet Evie Barnes, who does this does this 18 with a bang thing. And then we meet Daniel and Matt, who see the porn, decide we're going to have a party. We're going to invite her because turns out she's into this. And then they rape her.
Do you think it's bad? Because I just right now want to see if 18 with a bang is a legit porn site. Do you think it's bad if I Google that right now?
Go for it.
Do you think,
Google it.
Like, okay.
Google it. All right, while Roya looks up if 18 with a bang is a real thing or not, let's keep talking about the episode.
No, it's giving me Law and Order. That's, whew, I'm safe. Okay.
I'm disappointed. Guys, there's a market out there for you. Apparently no one's actually, I mean, I'm sure there is something similar. Especially because they talk about, once they reveal that she did this, they talk about how 18 with a bang usually is women who are way over 18 pretending that they're 18. It's their 18th birthday. Did you find porn? Roya just made a face. Did you find porn?
Oh, well, if you add the word porn to that, 18 with a bang porn, then you find stuff. So I'm going to just...
close it.
Yes, before I get... Because my research for this would not be a good... Googling history to have for the government.
Great. So Carisi, who is in the opening credits, he's part of the team now.
Well, you sent me a text because So I watched the episode before Yael, and I told her like, oh, I was bored with it, and then her response was, well, don't tell me. But then she saw him in the credits. She's like, what the hell? And I was like, oh, I thought I was going crazy, and that maybe I missed it the first couple times.
No, he's in the credits now.
Yeah.
Which means he's sticking around for at least part of the season.
Yes, part of the season.
At least.
They've had characters that were in the opening credits, correct?
Was Danny Beck in the opening credits when she was there? I don't think she was.
I didn't pay attention.
Yeah. I'd like somebody to go and do the research. I'm going to send a lot of assignments this week. I have something else I want people to do research about.
18 with a bang?
No.
Okay.
Because we already did that research. So please let us know if Danny Beck was in the opening credits. That's when Connie Nielsen was guest starring on the show because Mariska left. Anywho, so Carisi and Finn go to take statements from the boys while Rollins gets a statement from Evie because her RA calls. We find out that it looks like a pretty straightforward rape case. It looks like they saw that she did this 18 with a bang video, and therefore they thought it would be okay. They raped her. That's all, open and shut, kind of. So they go to look for the video that was made by the boys because we get revealed that they did tape the encounter on one of their phone. And at that moment, the defense lawyer, Buchanan, shows up to let them know that here is the video of the rape, and here are 12 more pornos that Evie did.
I'm kind of curious.
Yes.
In SVU, if you were working there, do you have to watch all the videos throughout from start to finish?
I think one of them at least had to.
Yeah. Who do you think that would have been?
Rollins, probably.
Oh, okay.
Especially because she, at that moment, right before Buchanan walks in, was told to go and vet Evie, go and do some research and find out if there's any other secrets in her past.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that she would have found it. And there was this argument about how everything was behind a paywall. So I looked up what that meant because I was like, what does that mean? That meant that everything, you had to pay to see those videos.
Oh.
So they weren't going to be easily discovered because you'd have to pay to be able to find them. They were hidden on the internet. Air quotes, it's the internet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Turns out.
So that's a key word if you want to get into pornography.
Yeah, make sure everything's behind
secret,
a paywall.
Paywall.
Yeah. And it turns out that all 13 videos, including her 18 with a bang video, were violent, had some tag teaming and some rape fantasy in them. Those are the videos that she makes. We get like a few sneak peeks of Dodds this episode, which is Peter Gallagher's character.
I'm not liking him.
I don't care about him.
I just think
they're misusing him.
I feel like they are misusing him for sure, and I also feel that like what I thought he was gonna be, he's not becoming that. I thought he was gonna be more like a mentor, I guess, for Benson, but he's not. He's more of the mayor's little lapdog, and being a little spy, barking at everybody.
Yeah,
it bothers me. Yeah.
I was hoping he'd be more like Donna Logue's character last season, where he comes in to be captain, and he's is tough on them, but he's awesome.
Yeah, he has a reason to be tough.
Yeah.
It helps them grow as an individual versus what makes them look good.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't like him. I don't like that he's there. I don't like that he's working for the mayor, the governor, whoever, and he's also, there's this thing about Hudson University, which I want to talk about a little bit. Hudson University is a fictional university that all the law and orders use. It's the one in New York is fictional. I looked up. I did all sorts of research. You gave me a look like I didn't know what I was talking about.
I believed you. For me, I was like, damn, they caught me.
Well, here's the thing.
No wonder I never got into Hudson University.
Hudson University in the SVU world is one of the most terrible universities in the world. This is the university where Evie gets raped. This university was in another episode where a student got raped. And then I thought that maybe Tau Omega, which is the university from Brotherhood, which is one of my favorite episodes, where the frat boys end up accidentally, well, they like brutally rape one of the frat pledges or something, and there's all sorts of drama. Anyways, a really good episode. That was at Wallace University, which I believe is another frick university. I'm not sure. Probably. Somebody went to Wallace. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I was really sad that it wasn't all Hudson, because they bring up Hudson a lot. Mm-hmm. It's this university that is terrorizing New York.
Is that why the RA was so involved? And he was like, I'm not surprised this happened.
Well, we've had episodes
for 4
before.
years. I'm so used to this.
He said that he knew better than to call campus security, because we've had previous episodes where campus security is called and they brush it under the rug and no one goes, like there are no, it doesn't go to court. The police never know about it. There was the fraternity. No, I think that was Tau Omega again. But I know that Hudson is a terrible place. And they said in this episode that they own most of the land in New York. And so, therefore, like, the mayor's office is working with them to keep it to be the greatest university ever. But it's not. It's where everyone gets assaulted.
Exactly. It's great for other people, but not for the other half.
Yeah. I mean,
that makes no sense.
Yes. There was an episode where Benson's daughter is attending Hudson. Sorry, Stabler's daughter is attending Hudson, and they're having like a rape like rally. What is it? Take Back the Night rally. Mm-hmm. And he shows up, and a girl comes out screaming that she was raped. That was at Hudson.
Didn't Finn's son go to Hudson as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did. They're all going to Hudson. Stabler and his wife went to Hudson.
So let's hope baby Benson doesn't get into Hudson.
Yeah. Noah's not going to Hudson, guys. All right. So the assignment I have for our listeners is to go and research Hudson in terms of SVU. I want to know which episodes took place on Hudson. I want like a list of these are the episodes where someone was raped or assaulted at Hudson.
Do you want to know what the result was for that rape?
I'm going to be real honest. If someone gives me the name of the episodes or the season numbers, I will remember them.
Okay.
I love this show. Oh,
I want to see that.
Yeah.
But I believe it. That's why I want to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Anyway, they go to trial, and the trial is really a question of whether a porn star can be raped, which is such a, like, ridiculous question to ask. A person can be raped regardless of what they do.
Yeah.
But Buchanan, the defense attorney, is pretty good. He's pretty good.
He's a good bad guy.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I liked having him as the bad guy. What?
Nothing.
Yeah. I really liked having him as the bad guy. I really like when Evie explains that she's playing this fictional character. She's playing a part. She's reading the script. And, you know, she is Roxanne with 3 X's.
Roxanne.
Dumais. Like, that is her character.
Lady of the Night.
Yeah. That is not her. It is a separate thing. And what happened with these boys, with Daniel and Matt, was very much real and unacceptable. Well, my favorite part of the trial... Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, okay.
I just Googled Roxanne to see if anything pop up for her.
With 3 X's?
Yeah. There's a movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that now. Please don't press play.
Sorry.
All of a sudden, the listeners are going to hear just weird sounds. So my favorite part of the trial is when Daniel is on the stand, and Barbara is like, did she say yes to you before you went in? And Daniel's blaming Matt, even though Matt like admitted that it was Daniel's idea after they turned him, which was really cool. That was when Carisi really like earned his paycheck. Yeah. It was when he turned Matt.
They need to start listening to Carisi because he's actually bringing up valid points. In this entire episode, everything he was saying about how she's not like a victim in other people's eyes or it's going to backfire pretty much happened.
Yeah. I think they're trying to make him grow and be useful.
But they're ignoring him. They're like, shut up, you.
Well, I think that's the idea. I really think that's the idea. I think that Carisi was brought in to be this, like, you know, doesn't know what he's doing kind of guy. And then over the course of the episodes, he's not only understanding the empathy thing that he was working on, but he's also, like, helping them remember that the world doesn't see things the way they do. But so Daniel's on the stand, and he says that he thinks Matt got the okay from her, and then she came in and said no. And in his mind, because she'd already said yes, therefore her saying no was just her playing the part. And I just love the way Barbara turns it around. And he goes, she said no. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you didn't stop. And he's like, no. And then he goes, that is the definition of rape.
Yeah, that was the only thing I really loved, too.
That was the moment that I was like, they won the case. Done. Pencil drop. So good. And of course, they're Daniel's found guilty until Buchanan has a motion to set aside the verdict, which we will talk about in a little bit. But the verdict gets overturned. Disgusting. Do you ever watch the people in the background in the seats?
Yes. There's been, this season so far, there's been very excited people in that crowd. Yeah. Overly excited. I believe the first episode was when we were in a courtroom, right? Or was it the second one? There was one in this season. We were in the courtroom and just there's people behind the lawyer like,
yeah, that happened. I remember.
And like in this one too, there was those overexcited people.
Daniel's family was there. He's wealthy. They support him. They were paying for the lawyer for him and Matt in the beginning.
Every single one on that seat was making a face.
Yeah, they were all excited that he's free. I did notice it as well.
Okay. They just need to just turn it down just a little bit. It was just a little bit.
Well, I was so upset, and then
called it.
You called it?
Remember, I predicted that he's going to get off with it.
Oh, you're right.
No pun intended.
You're right. You did. And then Evie leaves a message, and the message is, because I chose to work in porn, 2 boys raped me. Because the judge didn't believe me, one of my rapists was set free. I didn't choose any of that. My choices were taken away, and now I only have one left. Goodbye.
That scene, did that remind you of Jonah Maury when he did the note cards about being bullied? And he's just sitting there and he's just flipping through.
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
There's a video about bullying back in 2011 that a teenager released, and it's him sitting there crying, and he has note cards that saying, like, I was bullied. He flips through. Yeah. I committed to, like, he's got cuts or whatever. But, like, this was very similar where she had an iPad.
Yeah.
But he just kept scrolling.
It's 2004. I know what year it is.
I know. It's just... Yeah. They reminded me of that scene, reminded me of that and how deep. I thought she was going to do something worse.
I also thought she was going to kill herself.
That took a lot of effort for her to do that. If you think about it, she had to create it on her iPad,
slow it down,
do little credit roll for it, and then set up her laptop to record it and make sure no one steals her laptop while they're vandalizing her room. So, and make sure her laptop stays powered up.
Right.
Yeah, key things. Yeah. Maybe she kept the charger in.
It's probably plugged in.
Sorry.
Well, it turned out that she didn't go kill herself. She, in fact, went to do more porn, and she decided to take as many men as she could.
She went to her main ego.
Yeah.
Not her alter ego.
I got you. So that was the episode. Before we move on...
Yeah. That was a lot of men around that bed.
Yeah, I know.
She really upgraded.
It was her choice. It was her choice of saying, I'm not going to let you tell me that because I take 2 at a time in porn, or, that makes me a slut. I'm going to take all of these.
All these construction men.
There was only one they were all different employees. They all had different jobs, guys.
One of them had a hard hat, one of them had a belt on.
Yeah, that was confusing. Yeah. Also, they all looked like a good 20 years older than her.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of it.
That was it. All right.
But I liked her line where she says, at least when I say stop, they listen here.
Yeah.
That was like, oh.
Yeah. We will talk about that.
That's a lot of men.
That was a lot of men. Guys, speaking of a lot of men, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching, downloading, streaming, listening, all of that good stuff. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen and talk with us. We have great conversations on YouTube and Twitter. And we ask one thing from you. We ask you to go and rate and review our show on iTunes. If you like the show, give us 5 stars. If you don't like our show, that's okay. Give us 4 stars and leave a comment letting us know we can do better. What that does for you is it gets you a shout out. That's right. We have some really amazing, awesome things. I'm going to read us a shout out for, we got Finally by Lady09 Giggles. Not only have I been waiting for this, now it is here. It is so good. You guys go so in depth with the episode and real life experience. I feel like I'm actually learning something.
Yay.
We hope you are, for sure.
We will Google for you.
We will Google for you. So nobody at home has to Google 18 with a bang.
Careful.
Yeah. We also got new after show added to my rotation, 5 stars by RACJ82. I have a bunch of AfterBuzz after shows that I watch, probably too many, but I had to make room for the SVU after show in my lineup. The hosts have great chemistry. They're very detailed on the episode being discussed, as well as the history of the show. It's because we love the show so much. They also talk a bit about actual cases, where they may have been inspired from and the actual laws pertaining to the case. It's also a fun listen. I recommend it to anyone who watches the show. Thank you. That's so sweet, guys. Speaking of the laws, I went and looked into this motion to put aside judgment. Yes?
Did you talk about how Benson got chewed out by
Dodds?
Yeah, at the very end?
Do you want to talk about that?
No, I just want to bring it up.
He's a jerk?
Yeah.
We already talked about how he's a jerk.
Because she said you can't victimize.
Yeah.
Because when she got kicked out of school, the girl that victimizing, can't do that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because kicking her out is slut shaming.
I'm trying to set you up.
I know what you're doing. I'm ignoring you.
To fall.
Yeah. I want to talk about motion to set aside judgment.
All right, let's talk about it.
A motion to set aside judgment is an application to overturn or set aside a court's judgment, verdict, or other final ruling on a case. Meaning, apparently, when the jury says guilty or not guilty, you can be like, no. Set aside judgment, and then the judge has the option to think about it and change the verdict. And Benson said that it never happens, but it happened. Yes.
Okay, for this case, obviously I feel like there's something much more higher power involved in this case.
What do you mean?
Which made the judge change his mind.
You think like somebody did something to pull strings?
Yes.
Oh.
I believe the mayor of some sort, because it's Hudson and the kid's family's rich.
Yeah.
That's why he decided to overturn. Because he was very like, don't come at the bench, to Barbara. He's like, don't. Barbara. I called him Barbara.
I heard you. No, but the thing is, up until that moment, this judge was on their side.
Correct.
He kept telling Buchanan to stop victim shaming, to treat her with respect. He said, I wrote it down. Treat her with respect. That's what he said. That's what I wrote down. He was like, treat her with respect. And he was on their side until the end. And I don't think that strings were pulled.
I think something happened.
I think they would have shown us.
No. Because they showed us with Benson at the end and Dodds. Did I just create a character?
No.
Okay. Because that's when he told her, like, hey, you need to back off. You need to let this go. Drop
that was because she went to Hudson and was like, why are you kicking out this girl? She's a victim. You need to deal with the boys. I don't think that had anything to do with the case.
But then it went to the case, and that's when the boy was released for free. Or he got set free.
I don't think you're right.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah. Fans, let us know. I'm right.
But ignoring that, I think there might be strings that pulled his decision making. How did you feel about him being not guilty?
That's disgusting to me.
Okay.
He is guilty. We know that he raped her. When they showed both the videos and showed her saying no, in the rape video, she's crying and screaming stop. In the porn, she's like, no, stop. Like, she doesn't care.
Part of me kind of wondered, though, if she was doing...
What? We saw them rape her.
Yes, we did. And we got videotapes.
Yeah.
Part of me kind of wonders if because she was so powerful about this, about going to court, going and making them stare at her while she was sitting there in the back area.
Yeah.
She was very forward about that. Part of me kind of wonders if she was trying to make a message, maybe to set off her career, or maybe to do, because her family doesn't love her.
Her family did
and
love
maybe
her.
to justify what she does to her family. I'm not saying she asked to be raped.
I think that at the end, when she did the gangbang at the end,
yeah,
I think that was her deciding, are you going to eat chocolate?
I was about to.
Sorry. Roya pulled out a chocolate, guys. Great. So I think at the end when she did the gangbang, I think that was her her way of saying, you know what, fine. People took away my choice. I'm going to make a choice. I'm going to make a stand. This is my statement. This is what's happening. I don't think the whole thing was I don't.
If you okay, how many times? I know you watched it a couple times, right?
Yeah, of course I did. I love this show.
If you were to rewatch it and thinking she's pulling something, that maybe she has an agenda behind it all, do you think you might see it? I want you to watch it again and see if you can see it from that point of view. Because
I don't think I will, but I will try.
Because part of me, when the lawyer was attacking her, saying, "Oh, well, you didn't get paid for this," so
you would be the worst juror on this case.
That's why I always push off my jury duty. Speaking of which, shh, don't tell the government. Yeah, but where was I going with that?
You were saying that maybe he was right and she was.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really. She's too forward. She's too strong, and she was very intelligent. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she's an intelligent.
She's kind of like a Black Widow, maybe.
No, absolutely not. More importantly,
powerful woman. That's what I was trying to go for.
I know you got. That's not what a Black Widow is. Anyway, you are the worst. No, look, just because she's intelligent doesn't mean she's not a victim. Also, the fact that she does porn does not negate her intelligence.
I'm not saying that it takes away her intelligence. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just adding that in there.
But you know her backstory is her family does not support her.
No, her family stopped supporting her when she started doing porn to pay for school.
I know.
They did support her.
They did until she started doing porn, which is when she started doing porn was when she turned 18.
But you're thinking that because they didn't support her, she decided to start this thing.
What's this thing?
This doing porn to...
No. She started doing porn. Her family disowned her, basically.
Right. And then she
got this, like, when this case happened, when she did get raped, she decided to make a point and say that, you know, I am a person, therefore I shouldn't, like, you should listen to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're staring at me.
I'm so excited to hear you say this.
No, and then she's trying to prove to her family that porn, I am somebody. Even though it might be porn, doesn't matter what I do, I am still a person. Do you see my point?
I see what you're saying.
So because she was raped, she could use it. It wasn't like she was like, hey, I want to get raped. Like, that was not her.
Right.
I know she's at Hudson, but still, like, that's not her plan.
Yeah, that's going to Hudson.
It just happened.
Going to Hudson is asking for it.
Because there was something, her dad, this is a little sub-story a little bit.
Yeah.
Why is her dad saying that he can't go to church without getting looks?
Because everybody knows.
Therefore, everybody in church watches porn?
That also crossed my mind. No, because it's now now it's a headline. Remember, it was from Straight A's to Triple X. It's everywhere. Everyone knows.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I see that.
That's what I'm saying.
Think you're wrong.
There might be two sides to the story. Like the kid said that men, sometimes there's allegations. I know.
I got so angry.
Yeah. But
he said, I'm here to speak for falsely accused men.
So
Disgusting.
There's still that potential that maybe he's falsely accused.
He raped her. He's not falsely accused.
But for the whole... She wasn't going to go to the police.
That's true.
And I get there's a reason why rape victims do not go to the police, but she was not going to go.
Yeah.
And the RA was the one that pushed all this. So if the police didn't come to her door...
He was also... I just want to point out... He was in the courthouse. He was the only person there to support her.
Until the very end when the verdict came out, because he wasn't there.
He wasn't there, no.
And when it got overturned, he wasn't there.
Well, he had school. I want to really quickly, back to motion to set aside judgment, just real quick. The motion can only be granted in unusual circumstances, such as when the judgment was procured by fraud, which could not have been discovered at the time of the trial, or if the court entertaining the judgment lacked the jurisdiction to do so. Meaning, I remember asking during the episode when Buchanan was like, I want a motion to set aside judgment, I thought and shouted at my TV, on what grounds? He had zero grounds to ask for this. And then the judge was like, there wasn't sufficient evidence, which is bull. I call effing bull.
That's why I think there's some kind of strings that were pulled, because the way he's like, there was no evidence.
There was no evidence. I mean, I get...
Don't look at me. I can't make eye contact.
Yeah,
Don't
but look, we knew going into this case that it was going to be difficult. We knew that people were going to have a hard time seeing the difference between her getting raped and her doing porn asking to be raped. The one thing that I'm really upset no one discussed, aside from the money, is that before she went into porn, she signs a contract. Each video, she signs a contract consenting. Whereas what she did with these boys, there was never a discussion of consent before.
Well, and I didn't catch, when they were doing this, even in the very beginning when they're in their dorm room talking about it,
yeah.
I didn't catch that they wanted to make a threesome, like a video of it.
No, I think they were doing it, and then we're like, we should videotape this.
Which is really weird. Guys, do you do that when you have threesomes with your friend?
Well, here's my biggest issue. Recently, it's become a huge issue with people gang raping women that is happening all over the country, the world even. There's the case in Canada. There were a bunch of different cases. And people videotaping it or taking photos while they do it. And I'm going to say something that's going to be kind of controversial, but if you're stupid enough to rape someone, don't be stupid enough to leave evidence. Like, what's wrong with you? If you're gonna commit a crime, don't leave. Watch How to Get Away with Murder. Like, stop leaving evidence, you morons.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about the case that inspired this episode.
Do it.
So, shout out to Joseph, whose name I wrote down.
Boza?
Joseph, who sent us a Wikipedia link to the story of Belle Knox. This is her story, basically. Belle Knox was a Duke University student. That's a real school. And she was outed by a fellow student for performing in online porn. She started doing porn in 2013 to help pay for her $60,000 per year tuition costs. She was also assaulted. She faced a lot of harassment from the students who figured out that it was her and outed her. There were discussions after it was revealed to her school. There were discussions on a college discussion board where people threatened her with violence, death, harassed her on social media, and endorsed her rape. People were saying on these college boards that she deserves to be raped. Also, her identity, her real identity, which is Miriam Weeks, was revealed along with her contact information and location. All of that was posted for people to know where she was. It's ridiculous. She then responded and talked to the school and newspapers and has made a lot of public appearances since then. But she said, I feel like girls at Duke have to hide their sexuality. We're caught in this virgin whore dichotomy. And she posted similar things on her own blog. She has a blog called Exo Jane. And she has detailed some of the threats and messages of harassment, violence, and rape against her. But the reports, according to her, were largely belittled and ignored by the cops. Also, this, I think, is the coolest part of the story.
Can I just say something really quickly? What I was saying earlier about the episode and that character is not what I'm saying about this individual.
Yeah, of course.
So I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, we were talking about Evie Barnes, and now we're talking about Bella Knox. So Bella Knox, on her blog site, Exo Jane, wrote an article, and it was called I'm Belle Knox, and tonight's Law & Order SVU is ripped from my headline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, she got a call from Warren Light, one of the EPs of the show, and they said, listen, we're doing your story. Here is a copy of the script. We want to let you read it ahead of time and answer any questions that she might have. So she asked them why they chose her story. And he said, as usual, we tried to distill several stories and headlines into one character's journey. You and others have made the case of sex work that sex work is legitimate professional work and potentially empowering choice individuals should be able to make without repercussions or stigmatization. Other students have done pornography and have not survived the harassment. That followed. We wanted to tell their stories too, which is an amazing statement from him. Mm-hmm. Also, Warren Light talked a little bit about how the writing process of the script went. And he said, the writer's room has been hashing out a number of overlapping issues lately. The increasing number of students who've turned to pornography to pay for their tuition was included. How for some of those students, it's empowering, but for others, it led to horrific slut-shaming. And how a few students have been so stigmatized when their sex work becomes public, they've been driven to suicide. We also had long wanted to do an episode about how hard it is for sex workers to get justice when they're the victims of sexual assault. The more we talk about the issues, the more we felt they'd combine well into one episode, which is an amazing topic. And she goes on to talk about different parts in the episode that she related to that really drove home the story that made her remember the attacks and the victimization that she felt. So her blog post is available on Exo Jane, her website. Roya, did you have something you wanted to add?
No. She has a Twitter account, too.
Yeah, she does.
I was just on that. I was looking, I'm like, And there's a host here that follows her.
Yeah.
But her Twitter is Bill Knox.
Yeah. You were talking about pornography and the money that you actually make. I mean, we hear in the beginning when Evie is doing 18 with a Bang that they offered her $300 for photos, and they wanted to make it 3,000. I think it was 3, right? I think it was 6.
So 10 times that.
Yeah. Not 10 times that.
Isn't that what he said?
I don't know. Whatever. It's 3,000.
3 times that.
Whatever. I don't know.
Either way, when her eyes opened up too, I'm like, oh man, I could use that money too.
Right. So we looked into what pornographers actually make.
Yeah, and it depends on, if you're a man or female, or male or female, sorry.
Yeah, a man or female.
Let's see. I have it on my page here. A porn actor can earn as little as $150 to as much as $1,500 per scene.
Scene?
Per scene. Gay scenes pay higher than straight scenes,
yeah.
with actors earning about $500 or more.
Is that
on
for
top of
both for men or women?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
An actress can make between $400 to $2,000 per shoot, depending on the nature of the scene. Let's see what else we got here.
Evie talks a lot about doing specialty genres. Did you find anything?
I didn't find anything for that.
Interesting.
But here's something. An average male porn star makes about $30,000 a year.
Wow.
Where a female one makes $50,000.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was looking at there's a stripper comparison. Yeah, there's a lot of good money.
Do strippers or porn stars make more?
Porn stars.
Interesting.
Actually, it depends on how good of a stripper you are. Let's be real about that. I don't know what you're willing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get in contracts with porn versus strips,
Yeah. Well, I know I came from San Francisco, and in San Francisco there's this giant brick building, which some of you might recognize. It is the kink.com building, and every kink.com video starts with the image of this building. And it's in San Francisco, and apparently they produce a lot of quality specialty genre porn in San Francisco. But also we're in LA. Chatsworth is, I believe, the porn capital of the world.
Yeah, and I Googled the subgenres.
Yeah.
It wasn't what we were looking for money, so I just now I'm reading over some other subgenres.
Tell us about
you
some.
Want me to read some of these?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, hold on.
Give me a few. I mean, I can think of a few.
Like we got bondage.
Yeah,
that's good. Face sitting.
Okay.
Water sports.
All right.
But that's not what you No. That's not what you think it means.
I know what I know what that means. Yeah. Great. I think it's time for some news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Thanks, Yael.
You're welcome. So I have a Stephen Collins update. That's the dad from Seventh Heaven.
He's just gonna keep coming through our entire season.
No, this whole season's gonna have updates. He's selling his house in Brentwood, which is a very fancy area in LA.
Do you think it's cheap?
I don't know.
I mean, I got a new career that I'm gonna maybe line up to do.
Great. Also, there was a photo tweeted.
Why is this?
And it's up right now. It is the cast of SVU, Chicago PD, and Chicago Fire all together because they're working on the crossover episode. So I have a photo tweeted. If you're listening on iTunes, you better get on to
That's such
YouTube.
a weird photo. It looks like it's an old 1950s black and white. Like,
I'm sure someone just put
vintage.
a stupid black and white filter.
Filter hashtag.
Yeah. I can't tell you where I found it, but I did. I don't know where I found it is what I meant by that. Also, speaking of Twitter, Stephen Collins has not tweeted since October 5th. Just so everyone is aware.
And when did this whole thing happen?
I think just after that. Awesome. Let's get into predictions. Oh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Can I ask you a really random question, Yael?
Yeah, you can.
Since porn is our topic,
Yeah.
what would be your porn star name?
My porn star name?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like you already thought of one.
No, I feel like Yael is such a good name.
No, okay.
I think it was Yael for pleasure is the last name. For pleasure. Yael for pleasure.
I get it. Is it number 4 or is it like?
No, it's FOR.
Okay, cool.
Pleasure.
Anyways.
Anyway, on the next episode, we kind of have a Blair Witch style. It looks like a found footage video of these little kids running through the forest and they get attacked or stabbed or murdered. It's the Halloween episode. What do you think's gonna happen?
I think there's gonna be a lot of blood.
Okay.
Well, SVU has to show up.
Well, it's child abuse, so
So you think someone left the parent like?
I don't know.
So you know how in the trailer it says you're gonna have to stick until the very end, the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
My trailer cut off right there, so I didn't even see what the whole suspense was gonna be.
There's
It was
nothing.
like,
It cuts off.
you have to wait till the very end. Oh, save or delete. Damn.
It cuts off. It doesn't show anything. I think these kids are going to get beaten up running through the forest and they don't remember who did it or they think it's a zombie or something and they can't figure out who it is. I don't know. It looks
Homeless man.
It looks boring.
I think it's gonna be a hoax.
You think the kids are in part of a hoax?
Like I just think they're gonna be like some crazy kids that are lying.
I feel like it's going to start with this story and then, as SVU does, just go in a completely different direction.
They're gonna find someone in a cave, and then that person's gonna be
a rape victim that's been missing for like 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where it's going to go. On it. Great. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Hudson U adventure with Evie and her porn. 18 with a bang.
Yes.
Roya, tell the people where they can find you online.
Well, before they can find me, again, guys, if you've had any issues with sexual assault, please call this hotline, 1-800-656-HOPE. All right, guys, there are people there to help you. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HeyRoya. That's HeyRoya. And I'm also on the Saturday Night Live after show.
Awesome. You can find me online at yael.tv. That's yael.tv. There you'll find information about all the shows I do here, including Constantine, and the beautiful stylings from Siren's Boudoir. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And we will see you next week.
Well, I got one quick question for the fans. We want to know, when we have repeat episodes, what episode is your favorite from all the seasons that we should recap for?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Dun dun.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.